Welcome to Locality's Making Bank podcast, where we continue our exploration of South Florida's entrepreneurial landscape with host Keith Costello, co-founder and CEO of Locality Bank. Sit back, relax, and let South Florida visionaries guide you on an entrepreneurial journey from tribulation to triumph, sharing the very stories that have shaped them.
Mirones, welcome to Locality Bank's Making Bank podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're really happy to have you here, not just because you're an expert in mental health and therapy, which I need, just like a lot of people. And
we all need it.
We all do need it. Absolutely. But my wife is also doing an internship with you right now. So
Yes.
When I found, she started talking about your business, and I'm like, that sounds so fascinating, like what you've accomplished in a pretty short period of time. I'm like, would you come on the podcast? And we're like, here we are. So
here we are. Thank
worked
you.
out great.
Yeah.
So just tell us, your background. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? And I also like to ask people about, their family of origin. Like, What was it like growing up in your family, and where'd you grow up?
So I was born in South Carolina. My mom and dad, and I have one brother who's 13 months younger than I am, but only lived in South Carolina until third grade, and then moved to the suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio. Mm-hmm. So I like to say I'm the best of the South and the Midwest, which is very different than South Florida. But I grew up in Cleveland, went to school, high school there, went to college at Bowling Green State University, my undergraduate, and got a degree in interior design. But my family was really amazing. My mom and dad were great parents. My dad was a businessman, definitely a huge influence on my life. He went to Clemson, first person in his family to ever go to college, went on and got his MBA, was an engineer, and throughout his life, just really kind of one of those American dream stories of working hard and making something of himself, getting to a place where he was the chairman of the board of a Fortune 500 company.
Wow.
Took a company
That's
from...
very impressive.
Yes, very impressive career.
Which company?
It's called Cisco.
Oh, Cisco,
Yeah.
The food delivery company?
No, it was a construction company.
Oh, it was a construction company. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, Sifco, I'm sorry, Sifco, I believe.
Okay,
But he
Sifco.
also, his
Yeah.
main business was a company called Argotech. He, used to work for TRW. He and some other people took a division of TRW, and bought it. They made fuel pumps for airplanes. Over like 40% of the world's airplane fuel pumps were made by Argotech. Gigantic plant. Like when I was a little girl growing up, the plant in Ohio that he ran, I don't know if it was a mile or 2 miles. Like you'd go and literally, it was huge.
Wow.
And so he started off as a vice president and then ultimately became the president and the chairman of the board and took it through an ESOP and really ultimately sold it to Eaton at the end of his career.
Incredible.
With that. And then he and my brother and he started the business, really. I didn't have much to do with it, but we now own a business out of Ohio as well that makes OEM airplane parts and natural gas fuel pumps.
I saw that on your resume, and I was wondering, that's...
Yeah. So my dad passed in January, so that was
Okay.
very sad, but he led such a great life and really very influential to my brother and I. And thank God for my brother. He is the managing partner of those businesses now. And I just was in Cleveland last week for the holiday party, and I was very grateful to get back home to this beautiful weather in Fort Lauderdale and to be down here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's so
Yeah.
Your dad, it seems like was a real influence on you, a mentor.
Yeah. Huge influence, but also in a very traditional way, I think. Not to dog on my dad, but my dad was more influential into my brother's career path. And when I was in school, I graduated in 1995. It was more just kind of expected of me to go on and have a family. I don't know that my dad had the same entrepreneurial or business expectations out of me that he did of my brother. So
was he surprised?
He was maybe a little bit, but my early life, I was a stay-at-home mom. Like I literally, I went to interior design school. I had my first baby at 26, was a stay-at-home mom for 15 years. So I didn't really get into entrepreneurship and business until my 40s. Wow. So I think then he was surprised and very happy and really proud of me. But then he started to get dementia, so now I don't really know. But yeah, I think he always was very happy when I would tell him what I was doing and really, really proud of me.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
So you said, you started out in interior design. You had an interior design degree, and so that was in Cleveland. You stayed there.
Well, as soon as I graduated from Bowling Green, my first husband and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
So we got out of the snow pretty fast. And so I lived in the Carolinas for a while, ultimately moved to Hilton Head area, Bluffton, South Carolina. That's where I had my 4 children. And then had, as I told Denise, kind of a spectacular divorce experience at the age of 40 and moved to Florida because my brother lived here at the time and my dad had a house he was a snowbird and had a house in Miami. So I moved to be close to my family. And ultimately, a year or 2 after I moved here, they both moved different places. But by that time, I had met my husband that I have now, Daniel, and we've been married over 10 years and it's been really amazing.
And you met him in school or?
I met him my second year of my master's program. It took me 4 years to graduate with my master's degree from FAU because I was a single mom and it was a lot to go to school and raise 4 children.
I know.
And I met Daniel while I was still in school. Nice. And it was really kind of great. I loved it. It's almost like 2 different lives, my first life and my second life.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So how did you decided so you're here in Miami and you're saying you needed a new career.
I needed a new career. That spectacular divorce was really because my first husband had mental health issues. Oh. And as I was kind of learning about what he was going through, I just became more and more fascinated with psychology, mental health in general. I think there's nothing like helping other people with stuff that you have gone through. Mm-hmm. And it just really kind of led me into this career path. And I really loved helping people. And it wasn't so much about my own stuff anymore, as much as what can I take with what I've learned and turn it around into helping others. Mm-hmm.
And so you ended up going to FAU, right?
Got my MSW.
And so you've got 4 kids, you're going to school. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen it with Denise. Our kids are all grown up. Yep. But just with going to school and juggling all the other things with...
I graduated at the same time that my oldest graduated high school. Wow. So it was in that time period that my children are all less than 5 years apart. So they were all in high school, maybe 8th grade through high school. It was a lot of, driving, still going to, managing their schedules and going to grad school myself. I did my actual field placement over here at Broward Health by you guys.
Oh, right,
in the psych ward.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow.
That was a very interesting and pivotal. I realized I definitely don't want to work in a psych ward, but it was a great training ground. I got to see everything mental health related, severity wise, that you possibly could. I had a really good training at Broward Health.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you do at that hospital, which is open to everybody, right?
Yeah, they have 2 different wards. One for kind of older, maybe not as dangerous psych patients in there, and then another one with 30 beds that a lot of younger people. Luckily, I was on the side of the floor that was a little bit safer, because literally the day that I was there, one of the employees got hit by someone and lost their hearing. Like it was a hardcore internship.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But I did love it. It was really great.
So then you finished that and so what,
graduated school and then I went on to work at it's called a PSR, a psychosocial rehabilitation, which I actually got that job through working at Broward Health. Okay. And when you graduate with your master's in social work or master's in mental health counseling or master's in marriage and family therapy, you have to do what's called you're called a clinical registered or a registered clinical social worker.
Okay. I
hate the title. There's actually a bill to be passed hopefully this year that will change that title to associate, because you already have your master's degree, but you have to work underneath the supervision of a fully licensed clinician for 100 weeks, essentially 2 years. You have to do 1,500 clinical hours, and you have to do 100 clinical supervisions with your supervisor. So I did those 2 years at a place called Reflections Wellness Center. It was a psychosocial rehabilitation. We worked with severe and persistent clients with schizophrenia, bipolar. They would come to the facility, have breakfast, do groups, have lunch, and then they had vans that drove them back. Most of the patients lived in mental health group homes. But I did mostly, at that particular job, hourly sessions. Like I would pull them out of group, or I would have other people just coming from the public and provide psychotherapy to them. So I worked part-time for them for those 2 years. And in June of 2020, I got my license.
Okay.
That was right when COVID
was we all remember 2020. Yes. Yeah.
And I kind of saw the writing on the wall that the place I was working at was going to close, because their business model was to go and pick up people from the mental health group homes and bring them into the facility. All of the mental health group homes were on lockdown. We were, the poor owner was just sitting there with all of these vans and all of these employees that he wasn't able to, they weren't able to do the work. So my husband, Daniel, and I were on a RV trip like everyone else in 2020 and just talking about what we were going to do. And I said, I think I'm going to just go out on my own and figure, be a sole practitioner. But when I told my coworkers at Reflections, that's what I wanted to do, a lot of them were like, well, we want to come with you. So immediately I was very fortunate that we were able to afford to rent a space and start off. So many clinicians at that time were going all virtual.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to go all virtual. I think we'll be able to get more patients if we can be in person. Just from what I had seen of the clients that I had to leave behind at Reflections, they were desperate for connection, to see people. And we were classified as essential workers. We're in healthcare. So I'm like, I'm going to rent a space, and I got a good deal. And we just opened an in-person practice when everybody else was going all virtual.
Wow.
And that really helped us cement a lot of clients at that time. And a lot of people from Reflections that were able to drive and get out were able to come see us at that time.
So it sounds like you had an opportunity presented and you seized it.
Just
really
jumped on it.
Yeah, I mean the place was closing.
Yep.
You had people wanting to work with you, and you had an opportunity to do something different.
And I really credit Daniel for supporting me in my dream. And at the first 2 years of us owning this business together, he still worked for his regular day job, as he called it. He's a cybersecurity expert. So he was doing IT with another company and working for seasons at night and on the weekends. But I was doing, I was answering the phone, seeing clients, figuring out how to do the billing. He was helping me with the billing. He did the website. We started off with all of our, they weren't employees, they were subcontractors. We started off with all 1099s. Subsequently, after the first 4 that we had, we changed to hiring all W-2s after that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you started that first practice, and where was that located?
That was in Davie. We still have a location in Davie, but we started there. We had a little tiny, 800 square foot office, and the suite across the hall became available. So we opened in October of 2020, and by July of 2021, we had done a build out across the hall and moved into the space that we're currently in Davie, which has 6 full offices, has a lobby, a break room, all the stuff that you really want in an office. And it was a expense, but also I'm so glad we did it.
Yeah.
It really, that Davie office is a great location. Suburban areas I'm finding are really great for my business as a psychotherapist. A lot of children, families. It's just a really good location.
It's interesting you say that because, as bankers, like we look at different office properties, and so generally suburban office is not great except for medical.
Yeah.
It seems to be a good
really
use.
Good. And it's really good too, just from the last 5 years, talking to other practice owners and really kind of diving into, you want to be at an interchange or a place where people can get to the highways pretty easily. So my location out there is pretty close to 595, also 75. It's just a good location.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you start that first business, you, and Daniel's working part-time.
Yep.
So how's it go from there?
It goes pretty much from there I can't do everything anymore. I can't see all these clients. I can't manage all the clinicians. I've got to start to learn how to let go. And I think as an entrepreneur and a small business owner, that's one of the biggest skill sets that you have to kind of get is when do you start to delegate and what do you delegate? What are your strengths? What are things you don't like to do that you can hand off to someone else? So our big first decision was to hire a clinical director that could start to manage everyone more than I had time to manage people because I felt like my job was more business development, getting clients and going out there and networking more. I had to kind of be more of the face of the business, get more clients. So I hired a clinical director, and one of the hardest things that I've had to go through in business was that experience because she was an amazing, amazing person, had worked for Seasons for about a year, had just had a baby. Her baby was maybe 4 or 5 months old, was ready to come back into the business and be a leader. On Thursday, we had a meeting. She was going to take over the role of being the clinical director on Monday. And she was just complaining that her arm hurt. And she's like, I think it's because I'm holding the baby weird when I nurse him. And on Friday morning, I got a call that she was in a coma. She didn't know it, but at the time she had glioblastoma, the horrible brain cancer. And
oh my gosh.
Ultimately, a year and a half later, she passed away. So that was a really devastating, horrible experience to go through. And in the beginning, Daniel and I, nobody really knew exactly what she had. So we were kind of holding her job. But then ultimately, we did have to hire someone else. And then I got my really amazing clinical director that I have now, Rebecca Maddie, who's a great clinical director as well. But it was a lesson in have backups because I'm able to be a qualified supervisor to social workers and now marriage and family therapist, but I'm not able to be a qualified supervisor to mental health counselors. And she was providing that to our mental health counselor registered intern. So I had to quickly pivot, hire somebody else out, have all my interns covered in the practice. And it was a really big eye-opener to really have your systems and have people that can take over if someone is quickly not able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great lesson for everyone.
For everyone
in any business, right?
Yes.
You've got to have a contingency plan, for people and somebody else to step in because, we just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, people quit, people, as you say,
have some
sick
kind of medical crises.
Right. All of those things.
Yeah. So that's how I started to delegate more. We started to realize that through the processes that we were developing that we wanted to open. I always knew, even when we started Seasons, I remember having in my kitchen of my house the 5 people that we originally started it with. I did a slideshow before we even had an office. I always told them, like, you followed me with a slideshow in a dream. But I always knew that I wanted to, if I was going to do this, I was going to go all in, and that I wanted to open multiple different offices so that we could have
So you knew that right from the beginning that you wanted to do
I always knew I wanted to be 10 to 15 locations throughout the state of Florida.
Wow. So you had like a big vision.
I had a big vision.
From the beginning. Wow,
right
that's
from
great.
the beginning. So we opened the next one in 2022 in Fort Lauderdale. Then I had a clinician that was moving back to Tampa to be by her family, and I loved her. And I said, okay, we're going to open an office around you in Tampa. So we opened Tampa the following year. Then the next year we opened, signed a lease in Coral Springs, which is our biggest location. Now it's 9 offices. I think we signed the lease in December of 2024, but really got it up and going in April. We had to do a lot of work to the interior and get it up and going. So we got that started in April, and now we have, I think, about 10 employees working out of that office. But that office can hold a good 18 employees.
Wow.
So we're still growing that office.
And so today, how many offices?
4 offices: Tampa, Davie, Fort Lauderdale, and Coral Springs. And we have close to 50 employees.
Wow. So that's a lot of growth in,
in
5 years.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's tremendous.
Yeah, thank you.
And so what's the future look like?
The future looks like we're expanding our Tampa office. We just signed the lease. I'll be up there in January to, as Daniel says, whether you're the CEO or not, you're still building flat pack furniture and hanging things on the walls and doing those types of things.
Yeah.
And then we just hired our clinical director up there. So we're expanding that office. We'll hire another 10 clinicians for there. But then after that, I believe by the end of 2026, I want to be in someplace in Palm Beach County.
Okay. And Palm Beach, of course, is
we'll
growing
expand there.
incredibly right now.
Yep.
So
I don't particularly love driving in Miami, so I don't want to go south. I want to
I
keep going north.
I feel the same way. So with all of the, I mean, you mentioned one setback, which, losing this clinical director. I mean, that had to be really a hardship.
Yeah.
What other hardships did you face? Because I know it's not easy going from where you were to where you are today. And
Our biggest hardships, I think, are the red tape involved in our industry. And I'm sure banking has a lot of red tape as well. I know, obviously, the FAA working in aviation has a lot of red tape. But we decided right from the beginning, since I came from an agency that took Medicaid, that we were going to take Medicaid so that the patients could follow us. Taking Medicaid is a challenge. It has a lot of extra steps that you have to take. So I would say that getting credentialed with all of the different insurance plans. But on the flip side, not discriminating based upon funding, I think makes our business a lot more recession proof. We are in network with as many insurance plans as we possibly can be in. But some of the challenges were like Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield. When we first started, they had their network closed for 3 years. They were not allowing new providers to join. So that's a huge market in our area. Currently, Blue Cross Blue Shield's our second largest insurance moneymaker in the practice. So in the beginning, those types of challenges were really hard. How do we get in? Every 5 months, they'd be like, oh, we'll check back in 60 to 90 days, things like that. So that was challenging. Audits by insurance companies are very challenging, and making sure that your documentation and your policies and your processes are matching up to what they're expecting your business to have. We have had very minimal, what we call clawbacks in our industry, where insurance will pay you for your services, but then later when they come back and do an audit, if you haven't had your client sign their treatment plan in 45 days from the first session, they will take back all the money that they have paid you for all the services that you've provided.
Wow. Yeah.
And then they just won't pay you for the future services that you're supposed to be getting. So things like that happen to everybody in our industry, but they're really challenging, and they make it, they don't make it easy to do this job.
It doesn't, it sounds difficult.
Yeah.
So what kind of, so I know, like, so you and Dan are co-owners.
Yep.
And how do you divide up those responsibilities?
We always say we know our lanes.
Good.
We have very different skill sets. Daniel comes from that kind of analytical mind. He's the COO. He's our chief operating officer. All of the back end of the business, he's in charge of. He manages our practice operations manager. He manages, we call them client care coordinators, our schedulers, all of the revenue cycle, outstanding balances manager. All of those people report to Daniel. We do not have receptionists in our offices. All of our operation staff work from home.
Okay.
It's a calculated so that we can pull them all together. They can work for all 4 of the offices. Yeah. We have iPads. They're called iReceptionists in the offices. So when clients come, they check in on the iPad. And if they need something from the business office, they can call the business office and speak to any of our staff. So Daniel kind of manages all of that. I'm more the face of the business. I'm out networking a lot. I manage the 2 clinical directors. All of the clinical side of the business falls to me. All of the keeping up with changes in the industry, changes with all of our different payers, keeping up with every year or 6 months, something new is changing with what the manuals say that we're supposed to do or not do. That's my role. I go to a lot of other group practice owners. We have our own little support groups, things like that.
Yeah.
I that's what I.
Well, that's always helpful to have those peer groups.
Oh my
and
gosh,
things that
it helps so much to not reinvent the wheel. Someone else has probably had the same problem and figured it out. Just
so
ask them how they do it.
You have a good network like that?
I have a really good network like that. Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Goldman Sachs program the 10,000 Small Business Program. That sounds exciting.
It was really exciting.
How'd you get involved with that?
I was looking for grants, actually.
Okay.
And I was looking for just some way that I could, because like what Denise does for us, your wife, we have a low cost program. In order to have field placement students from the colleges in my practice, I had to come up with how can they see clients? So we have what's called a low cost program. So people that are either uninsured or underinsured can come and see a master's level student for as low as $5 in our practice.
Wow.
And even that, like, it still doesn't cover administrative cost or the cost of the office, people coming in.
Right.
But it's not wholly altruistic. Most of the students that I get turn into really great hires for me. And so
it's a training
program.
Yeah.
And whether they ultimately end up working for Seasons or not, I really do pride myself on training the next generation of therapists to go out there. And because in graduate school, they don't teach you how to document properly. Not that I'm, every agency is different, every place is different, but they don't really teach you about the money side of being in a group practice or even on a solo practice. So that's what I'm teaching. And so taking all of the insurances really helps us have a lot of clients. We have a waiting list now. The industry is changing from when we first came out after COVID. Mental health was so big. Currently, intakes across the country are down 20%. Not as many people are coming to psychotherapy, but luckily we have, kind of made a name for ourselves in our communities. We do take a lot of insurance. We provide great customer service. And so Daniel, really, he does more of the back end. I do more of the business side. And that's just really how we have developed our working relationship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's got to be a lot of administration with Medicare and
Medicaid.
Medicaid.
And just even with the managing
and insurance
the calls, we use a ticketing system called Zendesk. Uh-huh. Daniel's great at automation. In order to keep our costs down, our tech stack is really, besides payroll and rent, is our biggest expense in the business, is technology. So using the ticketing system, though, when our schedulers answer the phone, all of the calls are recorded for, those first initial calls. all of our clinicians obviously have confidential phone lines, but those scheduling calls are recorded because at any time any client care coordinator could come in if someone's sick or if they leave, and they could follow a ticket story of when did this person call? Were we able to convert them and get them scheduled? Or do we have to call them back because they want to know what their copay is or whatever? So the ticketing system has really helped us. We have different queues, records, we have, reschedules, cancellations. It really does help us track what are all the different calls coming into the business.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking the same as our biggest costs are technology and people too.
Yeah.
I mean, probably in a lot of businesses
Yes.
that's true, and maybe going more towards technology as AI and all these other. Yeah, so that's interesting. So you hear sometimes people saying, "Oh, well, AI will be able to do therapy." What do you think about that? I don't subscribe. I wouldn't want to talk to a chat bot.
Yeah. I think that part of what's happening in our world, though, is the loss of connection. And that is the biggest contributor, I think, to loneliness, which leads to depression and anxiety. So I hope that AI is not going to take over for that real service that psychotherapists provide. I do think, though, that more and more people are using AI for coping tools or things like that. Similar to you, have a lot of kids in college right now, and they talk about ChatGPT like it's a person, and they'll be like, well, just ask chat. And I think that there is, you can get some good tips and tools, but there are also real risks. There's a lawsuit happening right now where one of the AIs, they take what you feed into it and give it back to you. And unfortunately, a young man died by suicide.
I've read about that. Yeah. So
I think there's a lot of risk there. At the same time, I think in my industry, AI is here to stay. A lot of the electronic health records, which is what all practices and hospitals use to keep track of their records, are now using AI to record sessions and then help you do your notes. At first, I was very resistant to that, but now the more and more people that are graduating from college and that if I want to be able to hire people, I'm going to have to offer this as a service to them because they're going to expect it.
Right.
Insurance companies are using AI to audit now. They're not actually reading our notes when they do an audit. They're looking for keywords. So it's really here to stay.
Yeah. Well, I agree. We're seeing it
everywhere.
Everywhere. Exactly.
I hope it doesn't come into the actual therapy rooms, though, besides helping to write the notes. I think you still have to have that connection.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think there's a lot of things in our business that you could do with AI in terms of simple things, but, there's still something about, when it's a meaningful business relationship where you want to sit across the table from somebody.
And you're probably similar to me in that when we need BAAs with all of our tech stack companies, and as soon as you say you need it to be HIPAA compliant, it's double the price.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's expensive when you have to
we have all those issues too.
Yep.
You got to protect the private information.
Yep.
So anything else, Carol, that you want to share before we go to the lightning round? Any other advice for
No,
people?
just really be passionate about what you do. I think being a therapist has been one of the greatest joys of my life, and mentoring new therapists. One of the hardest things is to not be as integral in my clients' lives anymore and to start having to let go of clients and be more kind of the boss. It has been difficult, but it's also really rewarding. So that's about it. If anybody needs psychotherapy, think of Seasoned Psychotherapy.
Or any therapists out there.
Yeah, any therapists. We're definitely hiring.
Yeah.
We're always hiring.
Well, that's great. And congratulations on all the success that you've had. That's
Appreciate
wonderful. You and Dan.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to go to the lightning round.
Okay.
And we're going to start off. Are you a reader?
I am a reader.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a favorite? And I noticed we did that at your holiday party, favorite book.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your favorite book?
There was a book that came out called Maybe You Should Talk to Somebody by Lori Gottlieb. It's a therapy book, but it reads more like a novel. I think it's going to be a TV show, actually. I love that book for a lot of reasons. It really helps the layperson understand what it's like to be a therapist. Business-wise, I really like a book. I don't know who the author is. It's called Scale. Just really understanding about scale. Oh, you asked me about Goldman Sachs, and Goldman Sachs really helped me learn about scaling. Helped me learn about don't just work in your business, work on your business, things like that. It really helped me with my mindset on how to take this business to the next level. And the networking was huge.
Great.
Huge.
Yeah, I noticed there's a local group, right?
Yeah, Florida Biz Connect. Amazing. That was started by our cohort. I was cohort 33 in Miami. So now they're on like 37.
Wow.
It's a great program. It's a free. You have to give a lot of time, but it's just a fabulous being with entrepreneurs. We all have similar issues: retention, hiring, HR. Doesn't matter if you're a plumber, food truck owner, lawyer, a therapist. I got to meet so many interesting people. I love it.
That sounds like great advice for anybody.
Yeah.
To
anyone
apply
that's
to
interested,
that
yep, apply.
We already talked about AI.
Yep.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Be real.
Wow.
Be genuine. People can see through it in a second.
That's one of our core values is authenticity.
Yep.
So we subscribe to that here. Yep. What is your favorite local restaurant?
I love Cafe Seville. My husband is Spanish.
Yeah.
I love Spanish food. So I love that restaurant particularly.
Denise and I had a famous early date at Cafe Seville, actually. Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, that's great. What's something you're grateful for today?
Really grateful for my health. At 52, I have had lots of life experience, but grateful for my health and really grateful for my children now in this stage of life, being adults and still wanting to come around family and be around family. We're about to literally leave Friday for a family vacation, and I'm so excited. And
wow. Where are you guys going?
We're going to the British Virgin Islands. We rented a catamaran. We're going to scuba dive. We're all 6 of us are scuba divers. So really excited for that.
Well, I hope you see lots of cool things down there.
Thank you.
What is a fear that you've overcome?
I used to sometimes fear that I wouldn't be able to figure it out or I couldn't do it. And I just kind of, after my divorce, I think when you go through something so hard, you realize you have more strength than you think you have. And kind of my motto now is it's not rocket science. I'll figure it out. Somebody will. If I can't, somebody will.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you built a good team around you, so that's important too. So you mentioned scuba diving. You mentioned that's a hobby that you enjoy, and
love scuba diving. Great. Love traveling in general.
That's where do you have another destination that you is like top?
Two really, Antarctica and the North Pole. I've been to both.
Oh, wow. You've already done them.
So, already done them, yeah.
So where's one that's on your list?
On my list, I really want to go to the Galapagos.
Okay.
I really want to do an African safari. So those are on my list. And then Asia, I really want to go, just really honestly do like a cruise all through Asia.
Nice.
Tokyo specifically too.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Who is someone living or dead that if you could have dinner with, you would like to?
It's kind of religious, but I probably would go with the Mary, Jesus' mother.
Wow. Okay. That's a first.
I'm a devout Christian.
Somebody has said Jesus before, but that's the first time we got Mary.
No, I think the mother connection would get me. I would really love to just talk to Mary about how she, as a mom of adult children, you watch them suffer and it's hard sometimes. Mm-hmm. How did she manage that?
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's good. Mm-hmm. How can people get in touch with you? You've got this great practice. There are people out there that need somebody to talk to.
Yep.
How can they get in touch with you?
Well, we're on all the socials. Seasoned Psychotherapy is on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Okay.
I personally am on LinkedIn as well, just under my name, Carol Mirones. We have a website, seasonedpsychotherapy.com, and has all of our email address, how to get in touch with us there. So info@seasonsfl.com is our email address.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Carol, for sharing all of your success with us and your advice. So thank you. It was great.
Thank you, Keith.
Thanks for tuning in to Locality's Making Bank podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform to catch the latest episodes, and visit localitybank.com today to learn more about all the benefits of banking local.